time and their efforts to represent us and to do business in this community. We ask for your presence and your guidance on our meeting this evening, that all will bring to your will. In Jesus' name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. At this time, we'll have a roll call, please.
Mayor Gary Moore.
Present.
City Attorney Darren Rice.
Here.
Alderman Terry Stahl.
Here.
Alderman Alan Marsh.
Here.
Alderman Cheryl Eckleberry.
Here.
Alderman Eugene McGill.
Present.
Alderman Bruce McKibben.
Here.
Alderman Clifford Reaver.
Here.
Alderman Dewey Eckleberry.
Here.
Alderman Cody Atterbury.
Here.
We have a quorum, so we will continue. The next is the approval of the minutes of the last meeting. You've had a chance to review the meetings of the last meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If none, is there a motion to approve them?
I'll make that motion.
Terry, and second by Dewey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Approved. Next would be the approval of bills that were submitted. Are there any questions on any of the bills that were submitted for payment? If none, is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion by Alderman Atterbury, seconded by Alderman McGill to approve paying the bills for this meeting. Roll call vote: Atterbury,
Yes.
Dewey Eckleberry,
Yes.
Cheryl Eckleberry,
Yes.
Marsh,
Yes.
McGill,
Yes.
McKibben,
Yes.
Reaver,
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
And the bills are approved. Next would be the public comment section of the meeting. Again, if you would like to speak to the council, I ask that you raise your hand. I will call upon you. You can please step to the front, and you will have 3 minutes to address the council. At this time, is there anyone that would like to address the council? Seeing none, we will close the public comment section and move into routine business. The first item on this evening's agenda is an ordinance amending the terms of the appointment. Currently, the appointments are made yearly. So, the police chief, the assistant, the fire chief, the assistant, the collector, the treasurer, are all made once a year. In discussion with, we've had that discussion and with Attorney Rice, it's going to be my recommendation that we change the appointments to run with the term of the mayor. Example, the appointments that we will discuss next will run with the 2-year term of the mayor. Attorney Rice, you have anything to add?
No, I think this is something that is not uncommon. In fact, we have this very thing a couple places already in the ordinance books. I think the treasurer, on the books indicates that it's to coincide and run with the term of the mayor. There's kind of a general provision in the ordinance book regarding the term of office, which the way it's written provides that all of those appointed positions expire in April, and then you have to redo it for another year. And so the thinking being that since it is the appointment of the mayor running with this term, and of course that doesn't mean that's contractually kept for that period of time. It just means that they're kept for so long as they're in good standing with the mayor. So, does anybody have any questions about this?
Are there any discussions to adopt the ordinance amending the terms of the appointments? If there are no, is there a motion to approve the change in the ordinance on the term of the adoption?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have it first by Dewey and second by Terry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? The ordinance is passed. Next is the resolution for the appointments, the treasurer, the collector, the appointment of the police chief, the assistant police chief, the fire chief, and the assistant. We'll go through these as quickly as we can. We'll go one by one, and for discussion, and then we'll call for approval. The first one up is the appointment of the treasurer, currently served by Kayla Warren. Kayla's been there for a few years. I don't remember how many. Kayla does a wonderful job for the city, pays our bills, keeps us out of trouble. Is there any discussion on the appointment of Kayla Warren? If there are none, is there a motion to approve the appointment?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? That appointment is confirmed. Next would be the appointment of the collector, that is D.L. Rogers. D.L. collects the money and Kayla deposits the money. Important group. Any discussion on the appointment of D.L. Rogers as the collector? If there are none, is there a motion to approve the appointment of D.L. Rogers as the collector?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
We have a motion by McKibben, a second by Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Abstain? Appointment approved. Next would be the appointment of the police chief. At this time, I am going to recommend that Keith Callclaser will be appointed as the chief of police with my full support. Discussion? Is there a motion to approve?
I'd be honored to make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by McGill, a second by Atterbury. Cody? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? Appointment carried. Next would be the appointment of the assistant chief of police. This one will be a little bit different. It's a name you might not recognize, but it would be my request that the council approve Ben Lewis to serve as the assistant chief of police. Ben is worked for the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. He started out as a jailer, was promoted to rogue. At that time, he took his family. Ben is originally from UK. They relocated back to UK for a little bit, but red, white, and blue drew him back to us. And I think Ben would be a valuable asset to the city police department. Discussions? Is there a motion to approve Ben Lewis as the assistant chief of police?
I'll make that motion.
Stahl? Dewey? All in favor of appointing Ben Lewis as the assistant chief, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Abstain? Motion approved. Next would be the appointment of the fire chief. Andrew Miller has been the fire chief for several years. Again, does an outstanding job in every aspect of his duties. Discussion on the appointment. If there are none, is there a motion to approve Andrew Miller as the fire chief?
Second that.
We have a first and a second to the appointment of Andrew Miller for the fire chief. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
Same.
Abstain? That motion is approved. The last appointment of this evening would be the appointment of the assistant fire chief, currently held by Wade Gregory. Wade's held that position for several years also with Andrew. Discussion on the appointment of Wade Gregory as the assistant fire chief. If none, is there a motion to approve the appointment of Wade Gregory for the assistant fire chief?
I'll make that motion. I'll second that.
We have a first by Dewey Atterbury and a second by Terry Stahl. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. So, Alan, I'm sorry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, motion carried. All right, congratulations to the appointees. Ben Lewis is in the audience. If Ben would just like to stand up and let people see his face. Welcome aboard, Ben. We look forward to your service. Item number 3 is an ordinance to dissolve the tax district number 2, that is commonly known as Farrington Farms. Several years ago, and I don't know that it's probably in the packet, but TIF 2 was created, in hopes that there would be some development out there. It was Kurt Anderson owned the property. There was one home that was built out there. The city, out of TIF 1, put some funds, that were to help seed the project. We come to find out that it wasn't quite according to Hoyle. The city council and the TIF committee worked very hard to annex the Wayne County Fairgrounds into TIF 1 that allowed the 2 districts to touch, which kind of relieved us of our $1 million seed money. Through the time, Kurt Anderson, relocated, and the property has been sold. We've reached out to the owner to get some intentions of, what might happen there. Heard of several things, but as of today, nothing has happened there. So with just being the one house, and I think that generates about $8,000 a year to the TIF 2 district, and basically as that's collected, I have instructed Kayla to take those funds out of TIF 2 and put them back to TIF 1. I see no reason to maintain TIF 2 district. We need to let the taxes go back to the taxing bodies and dissolve TIF 2. Is there any discussion or any questions of what we're asking to be done? If there are no questions, is there a motion to dissolve TIF 2? I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a first by Alderman Stahl, a second by Alderman McKibben. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? The ordinance to dissolve TIF 2 is adopted. Item number 4 is discussion of some dangerous building. Before the council met, I passed out some literature of the houses that were identified. I'll ask Chief Callclaser to come forward and make his presentation to the council.
Everybody have copies?
No, they've all seen it.
Okay. I'll start with the first one, which is actually a fire damaged building. Property at 407 Northwest 5th Street was damaged by fire last June, so it's been set vacant for a year. I spoke with Fire Chief Miller. There's no more evidentiary purposes for it, so it's more of a request for the clerk to draft letters to the owner to declare it fire damaged and have it taken care of within 90 days. So that's
And there isn't a committee appointed with Terry Weedman, and Terry, do you know who else is on it?
If you'll serve on that again.
Oh, if you'll serve on that again.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And who were the other two?
Tim Shormore and Jim McGill.
And basically what this committee does, they will go visit the site, and there's some criteria that is used to say it's, it needs to be taken care of 50% or something like that. I believe is the number that sticks to my head. If it's more than 50% demolished, and that house is pretty well done. Go ahead.
property number 2 is actually a dangerous building declaration. 1221 Illinois Avenue. We have cited that property in 2020 and again in 2021 with the municipal court with a fine levy. Unfortunately, the owner lived in Iuka and he did pass on August 9, 2021. It's a single-story structure with an attached garage. It's set vacant for probably since I've been a cop. Boarded shut, and it's just a hazard in the neighborhood.
Alderman Eckelberry, do you have anything to add? Anything in your report?
It's been probably at least 20 years,
Okay.
and it's not habitable, sprawling apart. No one cares for it. It'd be nice to be gone.
Okay.
The second dangerous building, Mayor brought to my attention 113 East Main Street, which is right over here, commonly referred to as the old Mexican restaurant. It has sat vacant since July 24th of 2013. The west wall, there are several windows that are broken or plywood is ripped off. In the pictures, you'll see the electric meter. Right behind the electric meter, the wall is crumbling away and it's starting to pull away from the stucco or whatever it is. I tried to peer through the windows. Of course, it's too dark. There's a wall built there, so I can't see in. About 10 years ago, the air conditioning unit on the north roof was caving in, allowing rain and everything in. I did contact the owners in Evansville, and they did replace it. I can't believe the air conditioner stuck at a 45-degree angle this long, but it has. But the wall on the west is kind of concerning how it's crumbling.
Okay. Are there any discussions or questions for that? Now, one thing I want to add here is, the council will declare a dangerous building. Unfortunately, the process is cumbersome. It takes a while. We're working on, other properties that have been identified. There's one down there in Ward 4 on Walker Street. It takes some time. It's not like an ordinance ticket where, we can issue an ordinance ticket, they come to court on the fourth Tuesday and they're fined and given 30 days to fix it. Attorney Rice will follow up with these, and, we will push as quickly as we can, but, sometimes our hands become a little bit tied, but, we'll do everything that we can. Any questions on those? Okay. If there are no questions, is there a motion to go ahead and instruct Attorney Rice to begin the process of declaring these a dangerous building and see if we can get the situation rectified? I make that motion. We got a Dewey, Eckelberry, and a Cheryl over there. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? And we will move on forward with that. That brings the routine business to a close. This would be the first meeting of the month, so I would present my financial report. Again, please understand that the financial report is just a snapshot of the general, our general fund. For the month of May, we had total expenses of $1,407,491. We had May revenues of $1,522,866 for a positive net income for the city for the month of May for $115,379. Those numbers, since May was our beginning of our fiscal year, those monthly numbers also carry over to the yearly totals. For the residents, the council some months passed, facilities, I'm going to call it a facility charge, the city might call it a meter charge, increase. Those showed up May 1st, on the May 1st billing. So hopefully, those funds help generate, to help the city remain in the black. Cash flow for the month, showed a positive $298,847. Our payroll expense for the month was $327,256. Our gaming income was $12,721. Our sales tax income was $122,718. The balance of the general fund was $2,396,051.52. Not reported, but I know it is on people's mind, is the business tax district. We received another payment. I believe we have around $125,000. Is that correct, Caleb? So somewhere in there. 190, I'm sorry. Currently, it is setting in its account on its own. Since the council, we decided we're going to let this funds build a little bit before we do anything. I've spoken with a couple of attorneys to start developing what exactly the business tax district funds can be used for and what they will not be used for. Those meetings are forthcoming. In the meantime, interest rates are fairly attractive right now. So the money that we are generating from the business tax district is going into a 30-day CD at the rate of 4.2 or something like that. So I mean, it's generating income as we don't use, do not disperse it yet. I also, again, we're setting on $2.3 million in the general fund. I've instructed Kayla to take $800,000 out of the general fund and invest it in a 30-day CD also. Interest rates are positive. And if we could generate some additional income for the city, I mean, that is the correct thing to do. Are there any questions on the financials? Okay. If not, we'll go ahead and move into the miscellaneous. A couple of things that I've got under miscellaneous, then I'll turn it over to the council. Everyone is aware that Wayne White Electric generates our power bill. Wayne White Electric has a program called the Works program. All of Wayne White Electric's customers round up their utility bill. If it's 50 cents, it goes to the next whole dollar. Those funds are put into a Works account that has its own board, separate of Wayne White Electric. And individuals from Wayne White who are financially challenged or have some medical emergencies can apply for funds through the Works program. The Works board is made up of Joyce Carson, Joe Gabbard, Donna Williams, Steve Ward, Vince Mitchell, Don Winkleman, Marvin Walker, and Cheryl Whitener from McLeansboro all over. If the city residents wish to, they can contact Wayne White Electric and ask to be involved in the roundup. That will just round your bill up. And, city residents are eligible, for hardship cases. You submit an application out there, their Works board meets, goes over the applications and makes the awards there. It's not mandatory by any means, but it's a good way to give back, and it's a good way for our residents if they need something to have another avenue. Also with Wayne White, AirEvac. AirEvac is becoming a very useful tool for a lot of people. And it's positive that everybody has an AirEvac, an AirEvac membership. If something happens and you get medical emergency and you get airlifted somewhere, I can testify, that the cost of that helicopter ride can be quite expensive. Since Wayne White does our billings, and they will allow any member of the city to join the AirEvac membership. and they will add $5 a month to your utility bill. They currently do that with their residents, and again, I would encourage everyone to get an AirEvac membership. I mean, it's, you know, I've heard AirEvac member, you know, $62,000. And if you don't have the AirEvac membership and your insurance doesn't cover an air ambulance, you know, you're in for some rough waters. For $5 a month, it's money well spent. The last thing that I'll discuss are road projects. You know, they continue to go. It's a great thing. But the Illinois Department of Transportation reached out to Libby, and they would like to have a community meeting to discuss the project, to give individuals the opportunity to ask them questions. This meeting is going to be held on June the 27th at 12 p.m. and it's going to be held at the Jabaloo restaurant. I believe they're going to have, you know, some snacks, maybe. Is that right, Libby? So, you know, the downtown businesses, the residents, you know, feel free if you would like to attend that meeting. Again, that's June the 27th at 12 o'clock. You can ask your questions. Illinois Department of Transportation. That's all I have for miscellaneous. Is there any miscellaneous for the alderman?
Yes. If you guys remember a few years ago, the city was looking for volunteers or stuff to paint houses and stuff like that. And Kincaid was contacted with that, and they went to their suppliers and got paint. But that never did actually happen. We never did find any volunteers or community groups to do that. And Kincaid would like for me to pass along if they still have that paint. And if there's any groups or anything that would be interested in doing that, please contact them. And I think there's roughly 50 gallons of primer, 50 gallons of white paint.
And again, former Mayor Mike Grease had, you know, put together, you know, in hopes of painting 4 or 5 houses throughout the community, and it just never materialized, but Kincaid's had the paint. So, you know, if there's an organization out there, please feel free to contact Kincaid. Anything else?
I just want to thank the backbone of the city police. They deserve what they do. I just want to thank them.
Anything else? If there is no further business, is there a motion to adjourn? All motion by Dewey, second. Eric, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Abstain. Thank you very much.